Looks like we're ready to go as we come back with Emerge 24 Payoff. And what a night it has already been. Our main event has already been set for October 7th right here at Parkside, that being Chris Caliber versus Zodiac one more time for the title in what, Lurch?
In a casket match. I mean, we saw the video. Zodiac was taking measurements, and Chris Caliber clearly accepted the challenge of the casket match for October 7th here at Parkside. I mean, that's going to be something else.
Yes, and it is interesting. Both men have something to bury. Chris Caliber wants to bury Zodiac's career for the stalking, for apparently the fact that Zodiac has been following him for weeks. Meanwhile, Zodiac wants to bury the chances of Chris Caliber coming back.
Well, if you're going to bury it, you may as well bury him in a casket. Zodiac knows what's up, is all I know.
All that October 7th. Tickets will be going on sale later on tonight, but right now we have what promises to be an instant classic here in Emerge. Scotty Young versus Chris Silvio versus Nate Wings. Of course, Scotty Young is a guy that you are particularly high on, Lurch.
Speaking of knowing what's up, Scotty Young is one of my favorite up-and-comers here at Emerge. Look at him, and you know what? He doesn't even care about the audience. He doesn't even care about the crowd here. He's here to win, and right now, here to Emerge, Scotty Young, baby.
We've only seen Scotty Young one time in Emerge in a classic, something that was actually released as a free match, Lurch.
Against Ace Perry, and that was a hit all over the internet. They were talking about that from weeks after we posted that.
And here comes somebody that this crowd might not be too really familiar with, but Chris Silvio is a world-class talent, a man who has held every title that there is to win in OVW, a man who has made every attempt to further himself. He has worked with ROH. He has been on Impact and NXT TV this year, Lurch.
And now he's at the pinnacle of independent wrestling, Emerge Wrestling.
Which Chris Silvio, interestingly enough, Chris Silvio is up here in the area because he evacuated from Hurricane Irma. Of course, thoughts with everybody affected by that, as I've been told it's about to make landfall probably within a day. But what is Florida's loss, I guess, I don't want to phrase it and say that it's a positive, but this is most certainly our game. This is somebody, a 15-year vet of the industry, Lurch.
That's right, Chris Silvio. He's made it here to Emerge Wrestling. The crowd is happy to see him here, and this is going to be an epic match.
Coming out next, another newcomer to Emerge in Nate Wings. Nate Wings is a young, small but hard-hitting dude. Makes his home mostly over in Rockstar Pro in Ohio. And let me tell you what, Lurch.
This is worth more than either of your lives. Take care of it.
Yes, sir, Scotty. We got to take care of this case.
Understand me?
I heard you. I understand.
You?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Nate Wings might not look like much at first, but this guy is a master of using his body as a weapon. Sometimes it takes his entire body. And for a crowd who is giving most of these gentlemen sort of an awkward silence, if we're being completely honest, may not be familiar with some of these guys headed into it, they will never forget any of their names after this.
No, they won't, and we will definitely be seeing more of all of these competitors in the future.
Now all three men getting ready to start out. Always interesting. Typical match starts out with a collar and elbow tie-up, but all three men in the ring, you never know exactly what's going to happen. Scotty Young taking time to besmirch, let's say, the crowd of Emerge, our Emerge family here. And it looks like Silvio and Nate are forming some sort of an alliance, perhaps. No, just back Scotty Young up into the corner. It looks like they're going for a three-way almost test of strength here. Scotty breaks it up.
Oh. You know, there's always an interesting dynamic here in triple threat matches. I mean, one way you're looking, you have one opponent. The other way you look at the other side of the ring, there's your other opponent. You know, you have to think, you have to be smart, you have to strategize, and Scotty Young sounds like he's trying to make a plan with Chris Silvio.
Yeah, me and you against him. Oh, is he really trying to do the yes thing? Crowd doesn't believe he should be trusted.
Chris Silvio, a newcomer here in Emerge, doesn't exactly know the talent here at Emerge, but he knows one thing: Scotty Young probably can't be trusted.
Even you have to admit that, Lurch.
He can't be trusted, but you know what? That's because Scotty's a winner. Scotty's a champion, and in wrestling, you got to do whatever it takes to get that win and stay on top of it.
Oh! And indeed, maybe Silvio's the one who couldn't have been trusted. Perhaps double-crossing before Scotty Young could double-cross. Off into the ropes goes Scotty Young.
Wow.
And Nate Wings using Silvio here. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. And indeed, sometimes that's the way it goes. Alliance is formed and alliance is broken.
You know, I thought for a second we were going to have teamwork, but it was just part of that triple threat dynamic we were talking about.
And Chris Silvio floats over into a front face lock.
Wow.
Nate Wings trying to get out of it, but Chris Silvio so skilled using the momentum of his body to hold on to that.
Very smooth, very crisp, holding on to the head of Nate Wings. And Nate Wings sounds like he's probably going to flap a little harder if he wants to get out of these holds.
Nate Wings rolls through, trying to get out of this somehow. Steps over, off into the ropes he goes. Silvio pops him up.
Whoa.
Going for a power bomb there, but gets caught with a Hurricane Rana. Meanwhile, Scotty Young up to the top, going for a double axe handle, but he does not get it.
Nate Wings with the upper hand at this moment early in the match.
Nate Wings going for a Hurricane Rana, but he does not get it. Scotty Young brings him up, the most powerful man in this match, and drops him with a forearm.
Used his momentum against him. Big fist to the face of Nate Wings, and Scotty Young's is crushing the match right now.
And you can already hear, you can already feel the Emerge crowd swelling with anticipation that this could perhaps be a classic.
Oh, absolutely, and Scotty Young with the upper hand. Oh, he said, this is the best you can give me in Emerge Wrestling.
Shot to the gut there by Nate Wings, a diminutive figure with a surprisingly hard-hitting right hand. Back into the corner, doesn't matter how good your right hand is when you're in no man's land, like Nate Wings. Scotty Young now firmly in control. Meanwhile, Chris Silvio seemingly biding his time, which is a good strategy.
Absolutely. Triple threat matches tend to take that strategy. It's good to get the rest while you can. And Chris Silvio taking it to Scotty Young.
Taking advantage of a little bit of an opening, but not able to get anything done here. Nate Wings puts Scotty Young back into the corner. Perhaps that's the little window of daylight that he needed. A few knife-edge chops there. Off into the ropes goes Nate Wings, and Scotty Young hot shots him across the top rope. Meanwhile, Chris Silvio back in. Schoolboy 1, 2, does not get him. Meanwhile, hits him with a straight shot. Chris Silvio, European uppercut. Needs to take advantage while Scotty Young is down. Snapmare over. And now, Chris Silvio up. Springboard leg drop there. And that could be it. One count only. This match has a whole lot more time left in it, it appears.
The crowd is starting to get behind Chris Silvio. They're starting to recognize the talent, it seems, but don't you let that fool you, Casey. Scotty Young's got this match. He's got the two where he needs them.
I can admit, as Scotty Young drops him with a drop kick, Scotty Young is as talented as either of these two men. But UAW Lurch, don't overlook either of these guys. Scotty Young off. Goes for a suicide dive there, but gets caught. And now Chris Silvio over. Sunset flip gets him over. Not going for the pin. Rather looks like perhaps trying to get him in a submission. Chris Silvio off. Catches him with a bicycle knee. Nate Wings in, meanwhile. Goes for what looked to be a DDT. But he missed it. Now Silvio looking for Nate Wings. Nate Wings cuts him off. Nate Wings over, flips, and now suicide dive out to Scotty Young.
Wow.
Nate Wings needs to take advantage, however. Catches Chris Silvio. And now Nate Wings off. Oh my Lord!
What was
Fate
that?
through the ropes. Big springboard moonsault by Nate Wings.
Nate Wings is I almost said Nate Wings has got the win here, but Scotty's taking it. Oh.
Lurch, I have been watching wrestling for the majority of my life, and I have never seen that.
I mean, I don't know what the name of the move is other than 619 body splash. I don't know what to call that.
Yeah.
Followed by a moonsault by Nate Wings.
Scotty Young now bringing down the tone of the match here. Nate Wings, however, lands with that big elbow. Notice jumps whenever he can, adds just a little bit more weight to those shots, those forearms, those elbows, those punches. And now, oh my Lord!
Nate Wings landed on his head on the Parkside gymnasium floor.
He landed on something. And now, Scotty Young back into the corner, gets caught with a nice shining wizard there from Chris Silvio. Nate Wings up, gets caught with a big drop kick.
Silvio saw it coming.
What a match this already is. And Chris Silvio, this crowd is firmly behind him. Chris Silvio off. Takes a knee, takes another knee. Nate Wings looks like he's going for a DDT here. Oh, Fisherman gets him up, German suplex over!
Almost onto us. Scotty Young threw both of those men through the air. Nate Wings almost landed on our table here, Casey Johnson. And Silvio in the middle.
Oh my Lord. 2 count there does not get Chris Silvio, perhaps Nate Wings.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't get him either.
And if he just went for Nate Wings first, I think he would have closed it out. Nate Wings flew across the...
Yeah.
Now he's going back and forth. Scotty Young has these two right where he wants them. He's got the upper hand.
European uppercut there from Scotty Young. Pinning Nate Wings in the corner with no hope of escape. But watch Chris Silvio behind. Chris Silvio now getting to his feet. And oh my Lord, what in the world is going to happen here? Looks like going for a superplex here. Catches him with some forearms.
Oh, wow, Nate Wings.
And now, oh my Lord!
Suplex onto Scotty Young.
And this crowd is as hot as I've ever seen them. Nate Wings fell directly onto Scotty Young, and I think all 3 of these men have taken this opportunity to cement their name and emerge. 1, 2 does not get him either. And now Scotty Young throwing off Chris Silvio. Chris Silvio, however, holding on, trying to flip him over into perhaps a one-leg Boston Crab. Gets it, and could this be the end of the match?
Come on, Scotty, claw your way to the ropes. Claw your way.
And that is exactly what he's doing. Tugging at the canvas. And he just barely got there. Oh,
wow.
Gets caught with a straight side kick there from Nate Wings. And I think Scotty Young's hurt.
He had that knee completely stretched in that half Boston Crab.
What a match. Nate Wings off, gets caught with a back elbow. Looks for a vertical suplex here. Drops it. Oh my Lord, he got caught with a stunner. Chris Silvio now goes for it. Poisoned Rana, the American Beauty. Nate Wings wisely rolling out, or that would have been the end of it. Gets caught. Oh my Lord, gets caught with a slam. 2 count. 2 count only.
Thought for sure Scotty was going to close the deal on Chris Silvio right there. So close.
And now Scotty Young getting a little bit frustrated, hobbling basically on one leg here, trying to get himself into some form of a position where he can win this match. Now going up, perhaps going for some sort of a moonsault here. Nate Wings, though, not having any of it. Crotches him. And now, what is Nate Wings doing? Oh, my Lord. Rolls through with it. Silvio, top rope cutter. He got him with the cutter, calls it the star cutter.
From the top rope. Nate Wings did a backflip to dodge Scotty Young.
And now Scotty Young throwing out Chris Silvio. Taking advantage, Nate Wings.
It's over, ring the bell, it's over.
Oh my God, Scotty Young's busted open. Scotty Young's busted open.
Gee, that is nasty, look at the nose.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Scotty Young is busted open the hard way.
Busted open the hard way and won the hard way. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my Lord. Scotty Young gets faulted for being a pretty boy. But oh my Lord. He's got a lot of fire in him.
And if you notice, the toe of Nate Wings smacked that nose, Casey. Busted it.
And now Nate Wings and Chris Silvio receiving the adulation they so deserve here from this crowd. A lot of mutual respect here between these two. They've been up and down the roads together a few times. And both of these men are men that I believe we will see again here in Emerge.
We might even see him on October 7th.
One can only hope.